Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today I have a little bit different quick video for you. I've had some questions about setting up a 4K system and what I have, and just any kind of recommendations. And this isn't going to be a full room tour, but I am going to show you a couple of things, maybe help you out putting together your own system to get the most out of your 4Ks. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so like I said, everything is way too messy in here to do a full room tour. I don't have everything set up yet, but I do want to help. Some of you have mentioned in the comments that you are looking to invest in a 4K system, and if you've been following me, you know I'm looking to upgrade myself to an OLED TV. I don't have an OLED. I have two QLEDs, and one is like a budget QLED, and we'll talk about that one first. And then the other one is a Sony Bravia, so it is a little bit, it's a higher quality. And we'll talk a little bit about the surround system and the 4K player, all that kind of stuff. We're going to do it just real quick, so hopefully it'll give you an idea of what to look for. So let's get to it. So I might go in and out of light here. It might be kind of dark because I want you to be able to see the TV better. I got Killer Clowns on here because I think it's just such a good 4K. And this is my budget. This is where, so I'm always over here talking to you guys behind here, over here at this desk area right here on the corner. So this is the TV that I watch probably 80% of the time, unless I'm like evaluating a 4K, then I'm going to take it to the Sony Bravia to get a little bit better. Or like my mom has an OLED, I can take it and throw it on there until I can get me an OLED. Now, if you're talking about OLEDs, I have been watching a couple on Amazon for a while, and I'm looking at the LG C2 series OLED. And the C4 series has been coming down in price too. So like a 65 inch, like right now in here, this is a Vizio QLED, like budget that you can get at Walmart, Sam's, Target. But it does do Dolby Vision, and it does do HDR10. So it does have that, but you get really bad blooming, which is like lots of light on, even when it's supposed to be completely dark. You're going to get a lot of light, and so that's going to limit your ability to get the truest darks, to get the highest dynamic range of colors. Also, I think it's only like 1 to 50,000 or something contrast ratio, like distant, like the color gamut, whereas your OLED might be 1 to 5 billion colors. So that is a massive difference. But you can see even here, it still looks good. I'm going to spin you around. So, it still looks great. And of course, like my whole setup, I have it just like backlit with the LED lights. No need to spend a lot of money there. Those were like $8 or $9. I put them on the back of my TV and the back of my TV stand down here. And this TV is okay, but if it was in a dark scene, anywhere there is lights will kind of do what they call bloom. And let me see if I can grab the remote here. I may have to get into an actual scene. Let me try to spin you around. So if you look, it's hard to tell in here, but there are halos around all of this writing because it can never turn off the backlight because it doesn't emit its own light. It has a backlight. So there's always going to be light bleed all around. See how this looks bright up here? There's always going to be light bleed everywhere. So it's never going to be as dark as it should be. So the darks are never going to reach true black. It's just never going to look as good as it could, because if you can't achieve true black, and OLEDs achieve true black by just completely turning off the pixels. So they emit their own light, and then they will turn it off to reach true black. So if you start at true black, you have a much higher range of to get to other colors. Versus this, the black is more of a lit blackish, grayish. It's muddy. It's not a true black, because the backlight must always stay on for the TV, for you to be able to see the TV, because none of the pixels, none of the dots can emit their own light, but they can with an OLED TV. So they can turn those off. You can achieve true black. So now you're going to have way more colors, because you can achieve true black, true white. And if you can do that, you can basically achieve almost every color in between. And so you're going to get a better contrast. You're going to get a truer picture. And the colors are going to be so much more vivid and just knock your socks off. And the clarity is going to knock your socks off. So now that I've kind of showed you that a little bit, I mean, you can still see it still looks great, but this is a budget. Like, you can get this for under $400, and this was like a 55 inch. So I'm going to put a 65 inch OLED in here is what I want to do, because I'm in here so much. We're in here. We're in this room so much. Like I said, I talked to you guys right over here at the end of this desk. And I have a whole mess to clean up over there. I've got so much to organize. That's one of my movie posters over there, Realm of Souls. So much to do to get organized, to get all my posters up and everything. We'll do a full room tour. But I kind of wanted to show you this, and we'll talk about, now I'm going to turn a little bit more light on so that we can see the stuff that I'm talking about here. I got my lights in here. I put on a dimmer switch. That way you can bring them down and control the light. Okay, so I'm going to switch you around. We're going to take a look at my 4K player. Okay, so my 4K player here, and I just realized it's still pretty dark in here, but that's all this stuff is black. So this is the Sony, I think it's the XM800. This is a region-free 4K player. That means this will play a disc from anywhere. So if you have a region B Blu-ray or anything, you can watch it on here. So it'll play DVDs, it'll play Blu-rays, it'll play Blu-rays from anywhere, and it'll play 4Ks. For those of you not as familiar with 4Ks, just in case you don't know, 4Ks should almost always be region-free. It should not matter where they come from. They should always be region-free. I think there's been a few cases of a few of them not being region-free, but 99.9% of the time they're going to be region-free, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you see something that has a Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray is let me fix that one, and the Blu-ray is region B locked, it doesn't matter what region it comes from. If you get this Sony, and there's a Panasonic, I think it's the UB820, might be the 9, I can't remember. The Panasonic is the one I'm going to upgrade to in my living room, because it has a chip in it that takes the 4K to the next level. But this is a really good player. You can usually get this for about $350 or less, depending on a sale. So I highly recommend this one if you don't have a 4K player, a total good one. And then you're going to, if you want something besides a sound bar, there's nothing wrong. A lot of people have a sound bar. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want something besides a sound bar, you're going to need a receiver. You're going to need a receiver that will allow 4K to pass through it. And what I mean is, you're going to have a cable where you hook your Blu-ray player, your 4K Blu-ray player, to your surround receiver. and you're going to have a high-speed cable for 4K. And if you get a crap cable, if you cheap out on the cable, you will lessen the quality. This is the cable I recommend right here, and it is cheap, right? But it's only about $7.50 for a cable. This is an HDMI cable. This one is rated at speeds that can carry an 8K signal. So you're going to have no problem with your 4K. But if you have an old receiver, like I have an old receiver in here that needs to be upgraded, I have to bypass it. So I have to run the audio out to the TV from the Blu-ray player. I basically have to use 2 cables to do one because it doesn't let the 4K pass through. So I don't want to confuse you. You need a receiver if you want to hook up surround sound that has a 4K pass through. Otherwise, you have to really know how to wire stuff up to kind of bypass it. And it still gets confused sometimes, and I have to turn it off and turn it back on. But basic surround speakers that are the best that you can buy for the money, I'm going to talk about them right now. They are the Klipsch speakers, and I am a big fan of these. This center channel speaker here, I'll try to link everything. I don't make anything off this. I'll try to link these because I don't remember the names of all of them off the top of my head, but let's take a look at them. So first of all, here is my old ass receiver that was really just bought to use with my turntable, my record player. So it's done its job. I mean, that thing was like $125. So I need to upgrade this for sure because I'm having to bypass it because it won't let 4K go through. But it will push these speakers. And here is your Klipsch. Now this is one of the better center channels going. You can pull this off of here and you'll see this is a Klipsch reference quality center channel. This thing will cook you. It will blow you out of here. Now because this room is so small, I just kept my 2 old bookshelf speakers that I had for my surround system here. And they're just standard right and left channel speakers. And so in here, I just have the center channel and a right and a left speaker. So you can get this center channel on sale a lot of times for under $150. And you can get you a set of these bookshelf speakers for your right and your left for about $160. Sometimes they are less. If you get them, I got them through Amazon. You can order them there. They are great speakers, and they will absolutely cook you in here. Like this room, as you can see, I am all the way right here at my TV. It's only about 8 feet or so back here to where I sit. This is a more narrow room, and it will blow you out of here. These will blow you out of here. I don't have the rear channels set up in here at all yet, so this is all just center channel, right and left. And this is kind of like a budget setup basically, because you can get this TV for about $350 maybe, and you can get this 4K player for about $350, so that's $700. You can get the center channel and the 2 bookshelf speakers for about $250 if you get it on sale. So you can get this whole setup, and then this was you can get you just a bottom pass-through receiver for a couple $100. So for about $1,000, $1,100, you can set this up if you wanted it for all of it. And cheap, you can get these on Amazon. Best cords going, and I have tried a lot in my life. So that is the setup in here. Now if I move to the living room, this is where I'm going to set up the whole theater. This is where I want a bigger system. So let's go in there and check it out. All right, so in here, so now you see this like 65-inch TV looks tiny in here because this room is absolutely huge with massively high ceilings. But if you'll notice, so now I have the same center channel speaker in here. I'm a big fan of Klipsch speakers, so that's the same reference quality center channel speaker.
Let's go.
But in here I have a big Yamaha receiver that can handle 4K. It can handle anything that you throw out at it. And then I have one of the very first generation 4K players in here. This is an old Samsung. This is the very first one they had. So because it's the very first one they had, it does not do any kind of Dolby Vision. So you can't get Dolby Vision on it because it's just so old. And Samsung doesn't do Dolby Vision. So if you get a Samsung TV, remember that. You're not going to be able to get Dolby Vision with it. They don't have an agreement, and you can't do Dolby Vision. But in here, I have a lot more room. If you see back here up high, on each side of the room are my rear channel speakers. Now I happen to have a shelf ledge in here that allowed me to I ran wire up the wall from a hole in the wall, ran it up the wall to these ledges, ran speaker wire forever over here to the back. And so I have the rear channels all set up. Now those are Bose rear channels because that's what I already had. I haven't completed it. I have not completed this setup. You guys, I've been saying I'm trying to build a theater room in here. I don't have a bass end. I don't have the bass speaker yet to go with this set. I just bought, so it's the same center channel, and then I bought these floor standing right and left channels that are way stronger than the bookshelf speakers. Check those out. So that's the Sony Bravia. So they doesn't necessarily play well with that Samsung. But I got two of these floor standing Klipsch speakers here. And these things are seriously powerful. And I like to keep them covered. I know a lot of people don't. I keep them covered. Now I may get for the Atmos setup, they have speakers that are made to sit. They will sit on top of this, and they're angled like a wedge, and they'll sit on top to angle up and bounce off the ceiling. I know some people have said, hey, put those in the ceiling, hang them on your ceiling. My ceiling is 24 feet up. So the thought of trying to get up there and hang that, probably not going to work. Though I have this ledge behind my TV. I may put them up there. But so right now in here, the only thing I'm missing for a true surround is the bass. I don't have the subwoofer in here. I need to get the Klipsch subwoofer. I'm okay for these to stay the Bose because those were very expensive speakers when I bought them. So the Bose speakers will probably stay because they fit up there. They sit and I don't have to dig a hole in my wall. So they'll sit. But in here, I may not go OLED because this room, if you guys can see behind me over here, this room has massive, so these are the windows that I had to replace that put me on my buying freeze. Water was pouring into these on the front of my house, and I had to replace them both. They're huge. You can't block out the light from them. And OLEDs are not as bright as QLEDs. So I may go with just now QLEDs are cheaper. So I could, because this room is giant, I could maybe go with an 83-inch QLED here because there's so much light in this room all the time. And just do the OLED in the other room where I'm always talking to you guys. The house is a mess, got everything everywhere. I'm still trying to get that room set up. But and I'm in the process of making this into, a theater. So I don't know. My option is to go OLED, which is a better quality TV. but it would be smaller and I'll have to deal with the light. Or I can go QLED and get a much bigger screen for this giant room, and it'll handle the light better. And I may go that way whenever I get to where I can buy something again. Because if I have an OLED in there that's 65 inch and I put me an 83 inch in here, just a bigger screen for this giant room, because now in here it's the opposite. You sit, I've been sleeping on the couch right there because my back is hurting. So there's a mess. You sit about 16 feet in here away from the TV. So you really need a bigger TV. But you can kind of see this setup is in process. It's not done yet. But the difference is the floor standing speakers, when you have a lot of space, you can get much powerful. I think those speakers were, I think the regular price on those two floor standers are like $300 for the set. So they're a little bit more. I still got to get the subwoofer. I have everything wired up. What I'll do in here is I'll take my Yamaha receiver and put it into the other room when I get the OLED, so I can get rid of that pass-through. And I'll buy in here probably a Denon receiver to go in here. And in here is where I'm going to put, if I get an OLED for the other room, I'm going to put the Panasonic in there so that I max out the quality. I'm going to get a 4K Panasonic player and put it in there, because the 4K Panasonic player with that special chip in it, that cinema chip, if you combine that with an OLED, you're going to get the best quality that you can get. Period. The end. Period. The end. And I'll bring the Sony in here to talk nice to the new Sony QLED that we get to put in here. So that's kind of where it's at. But you can get a basic setup if you just want a budget TV. You can get that. That Vizio is a good TV for $300-ish range. And then you can get these Klipsch speakers if you've got a small room or average room. If you want something that blows away a sound bar, just absolute reference quality audio, but it's just like front center audio, right and left. You don't care about back channel. Those bookshelf speakers in there are the way to go with that center channel. And for under $250, you've got just light years better than a sound bar. So this setup is just light years better than a sound bar, and for not much more cost. Now, if you don't have a receiver, that will add to the price, but the quality you get, you can build this whole setup. You can get you a basic receiver with a 4K pass-through, this right and left channel bookshelf speaker, this center channel speaker, this Sony region-free player where you can buy a movie from anywhere, and a 4K budget QLED like Vizio TV. You can be $1,200, $1,300 maximum all total, and get it set up. So things are in the process of getting finished for me. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little look. Definitely we'll do a room tour eventually in here. Once I get all my posters put back up, get my light boxes, all that kind of stuff set up, we will do a full room tour. I'll show you guys all of my cool stuff that I got, and we'll just have some fun with it. But hopefully this helps you out. Ask me any questions. I'm happy to help you set up whatever. If I can help you out, I absolutely will. So if this helped you out, please like and subscribe. That really helps me out. You can consider joining the channel. That helps me out even more, helps me finish these systems, do all this stuff. Everything goes right back into the channel for what I'm doing. And I really do appreciate you all so much. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.